All right. Let's talk through some of these. What do we think about number one? Or about the first one? Which of these are third-degree polynomials or could be third-degree polynomials? What do you think? Which of these are or could be third-degree polynomials? C. Absolutely. How do we know? It's like, you just gotta be louder, man. It's got 3 roots. Excellent way of choosing that. A third-degree function will have at most 3 roots. So the fact that this has 3 roots, excellent choice for that. We can also tell because it is an odd, it's got those opposite end behaviors, and it's a little squiggly. So absolutely this one could be a third-degree polynomial. In fact, it is a third-degree polynomial. Which of these graphs, and there may be more than one, which of these graphs have a negative leading coefficient? B and C. How can we tell when things have negative leading coefficients? That right arrow points down. Our leading coefficient tells us what happens at the right arrow as x goes to infinity. That right arrow is going to match our leading coefficient. So if we have a negative leading coefficient, that right arrow is going to go down. Which of these graphs have domain and range of all real numbers? And I mean, this is slightly a tricky question because all of these have domain of all real numbers, every one of them. In fact, all of our polynomials always have a domain of all real numbers. From negative infinity to positive infinity, everything is right. If we have any issues with it, that makes it not a polynomial. So we are always going to have a domain from negative infinity to positive infinity. So really what we're looking at here is which of these have the range of all real numbers? Well, things like this guy don't. They stop here. This doesn't go all the way down to negative infinity. It goes from whatever this number is up to infinity. Same thing here, just the other way. Both arrows point down means it's not going to infinity here. It's stopping here and then turning back down. So only when we have things going in opposite directions are we going to have our all real numbers for both, or negative infinity to positive infinity. So anytime we have that odd degree, so which of these have that odd degree? Which of these are odd? C is odd. And A is odd. Both of those have domain and range of all real numbers. All of them have domain of all real numbers, but only A and C have a range of all real numbers. Two more. All right, for number 4, we want to talk about which of these graphs have this end behavior as x goes to infinity, f of x goes to infinity. A. And D. Because what this tells us right arrow, x goes to infinity, up. So right arrow going up, that's this guy here. And that guy here, that tells us that these two equations also have that positive leading coefficient. That right arrow is going up. So that tells us a couple of different things. It talks about our leading coefficient. It tells us about our end behavior. They're all connected. Bless you. And then our last one up here is, which of these graphs have no real zeros? B. Our zeros, our roots, our solutions, our x-intercepts. The only graph up here that does not cross my x-axis is this one. Everything else has a real root somewhere. Might be tidy, might be in a messy spot, but that's all the ones that have them. Okay. Questions on these pieces? Okay. Questions in general, because we're doing a skills check today. Yeah. It's a short one. And honestly, if you could do the bell work, it'd probably be fine. I believe in you. Like a note package? Yeah, in the thingy. Alright, I'm going to start passing these back. I want you guys to think about it. If you have any questions that you want to talk through, anything you want to look at. So I've got form 1 here that I'm passing back as well. I'm just going to pass back. We're going to have a little bit of time. If you've got any questions, now's a great time to ask some. So we're going to do a skills check and then we're going to keep going. Alright, that's everything I have. Anybody have questions you want to talk through before we get started? Kind of been checking in that kind of stuff. It is very short. And in fact, about half the questions are multiple choice. Okay, it's not too bad. It's all things we've done repeatedly. None of this is like new. In fact, none of it's the stuff from Friday, also before that. Okay, so give me the best you can. We're not gonna take a super amount of time to do this. But it's just kind of a check-in spot. Just gonna check it out. We kind of struggled on that last test. We kind of like had a couple more check-in spots. That's where we started from. Give it a go. See what we can do. It's not super duper intense. Turn it in when you're done.